Hello, welcome to June 24th, 2022. My name is Kurt, and this is my Good Life meditation. It's something I do each and every morning, just when I wake up, to remind myself of my life objectives and principles, and to see how I did applying these to yesterday, and to ready myself for the coming day, particularly for the challenges of the coming day. So, last night and yesterday, I slept almost until the alarm went off. I got up 15 minutes before, which is remarkable. However, I was up nonetheless. Ollie, the black dog, isn't feeling good, and I was up with him, comforting him when he comes right now. Oh, that's Rudy. I'm taking him to the vet today, and we'll get him looked at. I've got some tranquilizers or some sedative of sorts for the dogs that I had from a previous procedure. So I've been giving that to Ollie to help him sleep through the night, but still he needs some comfort. So could be his anal gland, but it could be worse. I'm not sure. Hopefully we'll get some ideas today. So I was up with him last night doing that, which was a good use of time. Yesterday was just an incredible day. I feel like I got a week's worth of work done in a single day. It was a good day. Didn't have too many opportunities for challenge. I will tell you about this. This week I started following Yumiko's example. I started doing intermittent fasting, in which I stopped eating breakfast, and I'm just eating lunch around noonish, of course, and then dinner before 7, and that's it. And I'll tell you, that's had a remarkable effect on my feeling in the morning. I'm still feeling anxious before work, but once work starts, it just kind of settles into a steady grind, and I feel good through the day. So I'm happy to be doing this. Thank you, Yumiko, for pointing this out to me and helping me to follow your lead. Okay, the good life. 7 objectives and 30 principles. I always want to be ready for death, to have my affairs in good order, my relationships, and my life's work. And I think I do. I think I have. I mean, it would be nice to have things a little more settled, a few more years, get things a little more settled, get Emily out of college, have a little more in the pension, especially, for Yumiko if I pass. But I think I've got things pretty far along. Certainly the relationships are good. And my life's work. I just remembered one little thing I have to change in going alone. I'd added some new wording about the concept of the tides. And I think I put it in the wrong place. It needs to go where the Anchorhold is. So I'll move that language there. Maybe I'll do that this weekend. I also really need to finish The Good Life. I've got a lot of editing work to do on that. That book really isn't a standalone. It's really a wind down. It's it's the piece after the main run is done. When the runner goes at the relay race, the last runner goes across the finish line, arms in the air, and then they go through, and then they begin to wind down and slow down. That's what that book is. Still, even though it may not be a standalone, it's worth finishing in its own right. Because I think there's some value in it. Next objective is to make good and effective use of my time, to not let the days slip through my fingers. Next is to develop and maintain good and sound life principles. That's what I'm doing right now. And then to cultivate good emotional reactions, and then to perform good actions, and then to recognize true limits and true opportunities. Now my 30 principles. Number 1 is the principle of war, to always be fighting against the things that I hold are true, and things that others propose that I should believe is true. Number 2 is to is the principle of reason, and the sub-principles of honesty, objectivity, doubt, and prudence. I think prudence goes there, which is the way that I move through life, making sure that I'm looking at things in an honest, realistic, and skeptical manner. All the attributes of the aforementioned war. Number 3 is the homunculus, the suggestion that I do not have a soul. Number 4 is the Anchorhold, the further suggestion that my homunculus, my little consciousness, is trapped within my head, can't escape, and will therefore die with me. And it's also subject to the rising and the falling tides of life. Like I said, when the tide is high and the water's close, standing up on my little rock in the sea, it's a little bit scary. Deep, dark, cold waters all around. Waves, splashing, storms. When the tide's lower, especially when the atmosphere is clear, no storms, that's when it feels like you want to live forever, even though I can't. Next is the principle of purpose. The home of good and evil, right and wrong, are subjective opinions that we hold. They don't exist on their own. Then comes the principle of purpose, and the 3 sub-principles of biology, virtue, and mission. Biology being the purpose of raising a family, virtue being the purpose of living a virtuous life, and mission being the purpose of latching on to some objective for myself and to pursuing and fulfilling that objective. Which for me was the living and writing of going alone. Then comes atomic principle. Everything is made of bits and pieces. Then the principle of nature. Everything has some particular nature. And then maturity. The pirate ride. Free will is an illusion. And then a maturity. And the sub-principles of wisdom and fortitude. And then the social principle. We are social creatures. We need each other. And then public speaking. A reminder to be very careful about what I say and the word and what write, to deliberate in my composition and my communication. And then temperance, the reminder to control my consumption. And then the horror show, the reminder that the world is a scary place, chock full of terrible things going on. And then that which must be borne, the suggestion that I have to carry these things, like I have to carry the fact of the horror show, which is visiting me in some smaller sense, with Ollie's discomfort. I have to bear that and do what I can to help him. Just like I bear the responsibilities I've taken on, just as you do too. That's the principle called that which must be borne. And then the Feast of Offal, the suggestion that I should not spew my upset on others, nor consume the spew of others when they're upset at the world. I don't mean to laugh. It's just that it's a funny thing that we do. Consuming, almost like gossip, the pain of others. Schreuderfragen, isn't that what it's called in German? Schreuderfragen. Can't pronounce it. After the Feast of Offal comes distraction. It's what we do to keep ourselves from seeing the emptiness of the universe, which I call the great indifference. We distract ourselves with all the stuff that we do, our work and our families and our play and our sports, our religion. All of it's a big distraction. To a quite effective end, I think, too. At least while we're alive. What else has any merit or relevance, though? Okay, that was 2 of them. Distraction, agency, and the great indifference. Next is the risk of avoiding the best seat in the house. To not want to be anyone else, be anyone else, or be doing anything else. Then the path of wildness. a way to move forward, to break through one life into another life. Oh, by the way, Yumiko and I am speaking of that. I think we've picked our retirement date. January 20th, 2025. January 20th, 2025. It's the day that America will swear in our next president. That's the day we're going to retire. It's kind of a refreshing thing to think that it could be that close. I think I'm going to talk about it a lot, if anything, to try to speak it into existence. Although there are some factors that are dependent upon that. So, but I think we're going to make it. January 20th, 2025. Okay, that was Path of Wildness. Next comes the risk of avoiding risk, the surface level and the deep risks of life. The surface level risks are education, family, job, home, and security. And then the deep risk is not finding ourselves or seeking. Seek and we'll find something, even if it seems like nothing at the time. Next comes sin and damnation. There are 7 sins in my world. These are, in my worldview, these are falsity, credulity, faith, superstition, dogma, authority, and gossip. And engaging in any of those leads to a type of damnation in the here and now. Complete oblivion. Once we're dead, that's the end. We're not going to have any reunion with our loved ones. We'll never reconcile our differences. And we'll never see any justice served after death. All opportunities are off the table. Because there's nothing about us that survives our death. No heaven or hell, no God to take care of us. No second or eternal life. Death appears to be a great finality. At least no one's been able to demonstrate otherwise beyond mere wishful thinking and faithful conviction, which is nonsense. Not very good at adulting those two approaches. It's more of a childlike hiding under the covers. I would rather not do that. Next comes the great life adventure, one or more experiences that forms the nucleus of our life. And then the season of philosophy, a time to record what we've learned along the way, keep the pen and paper handy. I always keep mine on the desk. A little bit dry. Lately I haven't had much to write about. It's been very mundane, boring stuff, but I keep at it. Dr. Johnson burnt all of his journals when he died, 3 days before his death. Deliberately burnt them. I think he intended to all along. Side of himself that he wanted to take with him to oblivion. Well, he didn't think he was going to oblivion. He thought he was going to have audience before a wrathful God, in whose outcome, judgment, he had no certainty. Okay. Next is the bullseye aim, striving for the mark but usually missing. The uphill climb, a steady forward march, steady upward march. Arena and utility, keeping our principles honed and ready to use. Nothing is enough, a suggestion to move towards abstinence, not just temperance. And then finally, the principle of fun, a reminder to have fun in the here and now, look forward to the future, and enjoy the reminiscence of the past. It's pleasure that is the best thing of life, maybe. Besides living well. And that's it. I got through my good life creed. Can you tell I'm tired? Now, today I've got, I think I've got just one meeting in the morning, and then I'll do my status reports. That'll be my thing for today. and I'll take care of all the minutia. And then the weekend will begin. That's it. Thank you for joining me. Be safe, but not too safe.